Hey, what's going on, everyone? Long time Fire Ice here. Uh, been a long time since I've put out new content here, except for the occasional playthrough video here and there and so forth. But been a long time since I've put out major new content on my channel here on YouTube. Well, it's been a long time coming, but the time has come for me to put out a comprehensive rogue guide. I've actually wanted to do this for quite a while now, but I've always put it off and put it off and procrastinated. But with us being locked indoors nowadays due to this crazy coronavirus, I guess I have nothing but time now and really no more excuse to put this off anymore. So the time has come to create a definitive high-level rogue guide, and that's just what I'm going to do here for you folks. After so many years of playing Diablo, and most people knowing me as a prominent rogue player, that's what we're going to get started here. This is going to be a series of videos, though, because this guide's going to cover all the tactics, all the builds, items, spells, hotkeys, you name it, it's going to be there. So yeah, we will be. I will be recording a series of videos for this guide. All games will be played on hell difficulty. I'll narrate as I go along and play, explain what I'm doing, why I'm doing what I'm doing, and all that good stuff. I know you guys have been waiting for this for a long time. It's been a long time coming. It's way overdue. But that's what I'm here for, and we're gonna get this going. So I guess I should just say a little bit about myself. I've always favored the rogue. It's been my favorite class since I've gotten very serious about Diablo play for some nearly 2 decades now. Those of you who know me and have known me in the community for over the years know that and have been waiting for this. For those of you who are newer, especially on the Discord Herodrum server, um, this is going to be a guide for you guys especially, because I noticed a lot of newcomers are playing warrior and sorcerer, but seem a bit intimidated by the rogue class. The rogue is a true gamer's class that requires a lot of strategic play. They don't have the powerhouse ability, in the same sense that a warrior or sorcerer does, meaning they're an extremely versatile class, the most versatile class of the three by far, but they don't have quite the damage output that warrior or sorcerer does. A high-level warrior, of course, has the critical hit damage with his melee, and sorcerers are just, outstanding spellcasters, and spells just do so much damage in terms of raw numbers and AoE damage and all that good stuff. The good news with Rogue is, though, Rogue has one really distinct advantage over the other two classes, and that's her versatility. She can melee better than a sorcerer, that's equally geared, and she can cast better than a warrior, that is also equally geared, assuming all items and a character level and spell level and all that is the same. She does both of those better than those respective classes, and she's the absolute master of the bow. So when you combine all that, it's really a fun class to play because she can do everything and do everything well. You can't really be or you can't really play the warrior and sorcerer with a bow. Warrior you sort of can. If you have the right items and you take it slow, you could make an endgame bow warrior possibly plausible. With a sorcerer, no. Sorcerer is out of the question as far as using a bow goes. But the rogue does the bow extremely well. She's the master of it, and the fact that she can be a good caster and be a good melee character as well really makes this class so diverse, and you can build just around that. to make this class super fun to play. And actually, at the end of the day, even though she isn't quite the powerhouse that the warrior or sorcerer is, she can still be an extremely powerful class with the right items, especially considering with how much damage spells do in the game of Diablo, and that she can be a really good spell caster with the right items. You have a much smaller mana pool than a sorcerer, so you're going to burn through mana at a pretty alarming, if not annoying rate, and that's one of the drawbacks of the rogue class. And you don't have the HP of a warrior, so while you can heal and be more efficient like a warrior, it's still not going to be quite the same. And your mana pool, of course, is just much smaller than a sorcerer's. But for all of that, her versatility it's unmatched, and that's what's really made it my favorite class. And just the fact that you can have range stun lock really makes this an attractive class to behold. That being said, though, this is going to be a really comprehensive guide. I'm going to cover this guide in two separate volumes. So volume 1 is going to be pretty much strictly PVM builds. I'm going to cover both high AC and low AC rogue builds, as well as that's with bow, as well as melee builds. And when I get to volume 2, that will be strictly PvP builds for the rogue. But we'll start with volume 1, and we may as well get started here in this first video. But this has been a long time coming. I want to give a shout out to all of those who've known me over the years and that have stuck around in the community, been active, and just really are true passionate Diablo players. Much love to you guys. I appreciate you guys who've stuck around and stayed with Diablo 1 and recognize this is the milestone that it is. There will never really be a better all-around game in terms of mechanics and just environment and story. It really is the best, and I appreciate you guys who've stuck around. For all you the newbies out there, and don't take that offensively, we were all newbies at one point. For those of you who are just getting into Diablo or just coming back into it after so many years and have come signed up on the Herodrum Discord, I just want to say welcome to the community, and I hope you enjoy this video and that it encourages you to play the rogue class. Warrior and Sorcerer are great classes. I love them too. But to me, there's nothing like playing the versatile rogue class. I never ever get sick of playing this class, and I've made so many rogues over the years, leveled them to 50, the maximum level, and just had tons of fun doing it. I just never ever get sick of this class. It will always be my favorite class. As of now, in 2020, and for quite a few years now, I've only had one rogue, my original, but that goes by the name that everyone knows me by, Fire Ice Talon. This character is probably going on close to 2 decades old now. That being said, let's get started with the first build in this video. I'm gonna start off with a high AC bow build. Which one do I want to do? Let's start off with the standard. I think what I would call the best all-around build. We're gonna start there. But before we even get into that, let's start with the nuances here. So as you can see here, I have a naked Fire Ice Talon here. All base stats max, very clean, ready to go, ready to be equipped. This is a hell difficulty game. The first thing we want to do is set up our hotkeys. A lot of people, I've actually been asked this quite a few times. What are the best hotkeys to set up on a character, or especially the rogue? In this case, since we're going to be doing a high AC build, let's pull up the spells. So generally what I do is in most cases regardless of what build I'm playing, I don't change too much from this. For the F5 key, I like to use my defensive spell, which would generally be Mana Shield or Healing. In this case, we're going to go Mana Shield, so I'm going to hotkey Mana Shield for F5. Usually I like to have 2 offensive spells, because in Hell difficulty, there's a lot of fire immunes, triple immunes, or just immune to lightning or magic or what have you. But triple immunes aren't too common in Hell. You have the Soul Burners, Advocates, and maybe certain bosses. But it's good to have 2 offensive spells due to the most type of monsters being immune or resistant to at least one spell type. So for my offensive fire spell, we're going to hotkey Fireball on F6. F7, I'm going to hotkey Chain Lightning. And then you want at least one mobility spell, which limits us to either phase or teleport. Teleport is obviously going to give you more control, so we're going to hotkey Teleport for F8. So there you have it. We have our hotkeys ready to go, and these are generally the hotkeys I use for all my characters, classes, and builds. I do mix it up a little bit in special circumstances, or if we have a unique set of mobs where we're not going to be using a whole lot of spell casting, like if we get on level 15 with Soul Burners, depending on what else there is, you're probably not going to be doing a lot of casting, so you would probably want to alter those, but that's the general lineup I go with for my hotkeys. Mana Shield, Fireball, Chain Lightning, and Teleport. I like to roll with all rejuves in my belt if I can, especially with playing the Rogue class. I try to keep a full belt of yellows. I will use reds and blues as well, if need be. If I want to have some extra mana, if I run out of potions, I'll visit Adrian, pack my inventory with blues. I'll pick them up as I go along as well in the dungeon. So we have our hotkeys ready. The next thing we need to do, obviously, is equip her. She's naked right now, as you can see. So I'm going to open up Torch. And we're going to start with our first build that I want to cover. It's going to be a high AC bow build. And it's going to be an all-around build. This is, I think, what I consider to be the best all-around endgame build for a rogue. And the reason I say it's all-around is because it covers everything you need. You're going to get max resistances, you're going to get high armor class, and you're going to get really high attributes, and really, really solid bow damage. Not the best bow damage, but very, very solid bow damage that's more than enough to stun lock any monster in Hell difficulty. So let's start. Let's open up the inventory. So to get the best all-around build, to get everything you need, that's going to cover all the stats, which we'll go over with. Let's start on the Helm slot. I'm going to equip the Royal Circlet. That's what the Royal Circlet does. And we're going to equip that to start. So I'm going to get right off the bat 10 to all attributes, 40 mana, and 40 armor class. 42 armor class total if you take the 10 all attributes into account. So if you take a look, when she's naked, 50 armor class. By putting on RC, I go up to 92. Let's reopen Torch. Next thing we want to do is the jewelry slots. All attributes in Diablo 1 is a really, really powerful affix, much more so than in other Diablo games. Like when you look at Diablo 2 and Diablo 3, you're looking at stuff that enhances your skills, crit damage, main stat vitality. You see that a lot in Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. In Diablo 1, though, all attributes is really going to be your best in slot for most of the slots, especially in the jewelry slots. So what I'm going to do is, there's a few ways you can do this, but the build that we're going to cover today, let's start with the amulet. Obsidian Amulet of the Zodiac. So for your resistances, you're going to have 40 to resist all right off the bat. 75% resist, of course, is maximum, and 20 all attributes. So let's bring up the character screen. So by adding 20 all attributes, right now my damage is 82 to 82. That's going to go up to 92 to 92. Hit points goes from 216 to 246. Mana goes from 228 to 258. And then I got 40% resist all. Armor class goes up to 96. So 20 all attributes gives you 4 armor class. Next up is the ring slots. Now, these are special. These are my favorite jewels in the game. Dragon's Jewel of the Zodiac. 60 mana, 20 to all attributes. Extra mana on your character is very hard to come by. It's very rare. You can only get extra mana, base mana that is, not including from what you get from all attributes, on staves and jewelry. Well, staves have pretty limited use. Maybe not so much on a sorcerer, but on a warrior and a rogue, they have very limited use compared to the other items you equip. Warrior is a melee expert and does best with a sword and shield. Rogue, of course, is the master of the bow. So a staff isn't going to be the best in slot option. So the only way to get extra mana on your characters and make them more powerful is on the jewelry slots. These slots kind of compete with Obsidian and Dragon Zodiac. Those are the two best ideal slots. But getting extra, you can get resists on so many different slots. You kind of want to keep the resistance slots to a minimum on jewelry if you can. So in this case, we're gonna. I do have a Dragon's Amulet of the Zodiac too, but we can do this in any number of ways. We're gonna put our resistance on the amulet slot in this case, and then get the extra mana on the ring slots. Let's take a look at our stats now. So we're starting to get into the triple digits damage now. Armor class is at 104, life at 306, mana 438. We're still only at 40% resist though. We need to max out our resists. In this case, we're going to do that on the bow slot. We're going to use Emerald Bow of the Heavens. Now, Emerald Bow of the Heavens is going to max out your resists, and you get an additional 15 stat bonus. So this is going to raise your damage. You're going to get the bulk of your damage from the bow, from the attributes, and just from being character level 50. As you can see, I'm up to 119 to 132 damage now, and I've maxed out my resists. Now we need to put on our armor to give us the armor class, and we're going to do high AC. So let's go back here. Now, the armor slot is debatable. Some people prefer to have extra spell casting, extra mana, and they opt for an awesome plate of sorcery. You can also go for faster hit recovery with the awesome plate of harmony. I prefer having all attributes once again, because this is going to boost everything. Damage, mana, vitality and HP, to hit, you name it. So we're going to go with Awesome Plate of the Stars. We now have a fully geared Fire Ice Talon. She's all set. She's ready to go. Let's look at the final stats with this build. 296 armor class. The maximum useful armor class in Hell is 285 for a character level 50. So I'm actually 11 above that. So that's, some people might call that wasted stats, but not really, because that's going to meet my that's going to meet the maximum armor maximum beneficial armor. I have 96 plus all attributes, 345 HP, 477 mana, 125 to 138 bow damage, all resist max. This is the best all-around build. You could make an argument that maybe you could subtract the Emerald Heavens bow, opt for Savage Heavens, and maybe put on an Obsidian Stars helm. Now, I do have an Obsidian Stars helm here. Let's go back into Torch. So, that gives me 15 armor, plus 11 all attributes, so a total of 17 armor class. That's a difference of 25 armor, as I'll show you here. And I would substitute this with Savage Heavens, since I'm getting my resists from the helmet and amulet slot. And you still get 271 armor, armor class, either way. Now, 271 armor is going to give you the maximum beneficial AC versus most monsters. However, there are a few monsters where you're not going to be able to have where 271 would still be a bit low to have the maximum beneficial AC, and that's going to be versus Blood Knights, Balrogs, and I believe I want to say Azure Drakes. You would want a little more beneficial AC. Versus just about anything else, though, this build would suffice for having perfect beneficial AC. But for our purposes today, we're going to stick with Royal Circlet. For the maximum beneficial AC, 477 mana. So this is my favorite build overall with Rogue. It's absolutely incredible because, like I said, it covers everything. You get a high mana pool, solid HP, great all-around stats, amazingly high AC, your resistor max, and you have great bow damage. So this is the build of builds in my opinion. This covers you for virtually almost any type of opponent you'll face. That's why I call this the best all-around build. So without further ado, let's get started tearing up some hell. So we're gonna go down to level 13, and we're gonna rock and roll. Maybe first thing I want to do before we do that, let me go to Mr. Pep in here, and let's grab a few potions, a few extra potions. He's only selling 3 full yellows on this trip. I guess that will suit our purposes for now. So let's go down. Okay, before we begin, first thing I'm going to do is cast Mana Shield. Now, before you do anything, regardless of what class you're playing, what build, what level you're on, before you do anything, it is important, and this is critical, to cast a town portal somewhere near the stairs, but not too close to the stairs that if you happen to make a mistake, you die, and you get locked up, that you can't come back down the stairs to retrieve your gear. So you wanna put these somewhere near the stairs, but not too close. Maybe like in this case, maybe right here would be the ideal spot in this scenario. Okay, so now that you have a safe TP ready to go, we can get down to business. I like to start off a little slow, maybe just to see what monsters are on the level. Nothing here, so let's go down. Another set of stairs here. Let's grab that, and let's see what we have. Blood Knights on level 13. And Lava Maws. This is a pretty gnarly level, I can tell you right off the bat. Lava Maws are extremely dangerous, even when you have high AC. Due to my high magic stat of 166, I'm going to be able to cast very accurately. So the majority of my offense with this particular build is going to come through spells, and the bow will serve as a secondary weapon. I'm going to show you how it's done. We want to create some room here for the rogue. I'm going to fireball. There you go. And you can see the monster meters there as I kill to see how fast her damage is incoming. As you can see, the spells do most of the damage. Then I just finish off the stragglers with the bow. Now, in these types of situations, I find it's my opinion that the Lava Maws are the more dangerous of the two monsters, even though Blood Knights are monster level 30. Lava Maws just have insane height to hit and are very dangerous in high numbers. I like to take them out first. So if I have packs of Blood Knights and Maws coming at me, I tend to chain Lightning first and then go for the Blood Knights. I lost Mana Shield there, so I backed away and recasted. If you lose Mana Shield, never ever stay engaged. Always take a step back and recast, especially in these with these types of monsters. As you can see with this build, This turns the rogue, essentially, into a weapon of mass destruction. She's like a sorcerer with a bow, basically. But as you can see also, I'm going through mana like crazy with this build because I'm casting so much. That's the only downside really with rogue in general is you go through a ton of mana, especially if you're casting a lot like I do. So that's clear. Let's go down here. Let's try my luck, shall we? Wow. Very dangerous what I did there. That was very, very dangerous what I did there. What I just did there, I don't recommend it. I probably shouldn't have done what I did. I didn't die, but that's definitely something you really don't want to do with rogue, telling into a mob like that, even with the gear I have. Very, very dangerous what I did there. The only thing that saved me there really was the gear. Okay. Pick up some gold here. Wow. Okay. One monster left, huh? Let's see. Okay. Just a bloody. Okay. So that level is done. But as you can see, that is why this is my favorite build. Um, and that's really how you play this build, with the exception of that maybe that one instance where I almost died because I teleported into a mob of about 5 Blood Knights with nowhere to go. That's pretty dangerous to do. I got away with it that time, but I don't recommend it. But this is the build. Royal Circlet, Awesome Stars, Emerald Heavens, Obsidian Zone, 2 Dragon Zone. And just to show you, both these perfect Dragon Zones are not dupes. As you can see, both are legit, found off different sources. This one was a Black Jade find, that one is a Gorash find. So completely different rings, they're not dupes. At any rate, this is my favorite build, and this is the go-to build in my opinion. This video is the first of several to come. I hope you guys enjoyed. There's going to be much more where this came from. But this is the build to shoot for, in my opinion, all around if you want to play the rogue class at its most effective using a bow. Just this all-around build is it does not get any better than this because you just get everything with it. You get armor class, high attributes, great bow damage, max resists, high mana. This build has no weaknesses whatsoever. Yeah, your bow damage might be a little bit lower compared to, say, if you're using a massive bow of swiftness or a savage heavens. But honestly, as you could see with the monsters' health bars when I was shooting them, it's not making a huge difference. And you'll see that late in later videos when I play high damage builds, like using them. Well, with a massive bow of swiftness, you'll notice a difference. The bow damage and the outgoing damage that you'll see on the monster's health bars is a bit substantially higher. With Savage Heavens and the Merciless Elemental Bows, maybe not so much. But your bow damage with Emerald Heavens is still far more than enough to stun lock any monster and kill them pretty quickly. So that's why I consider this to be the best all-around build, because it has no weaknesses. That being said, that will conclude this video, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Stay safe. Fire Ice out.